We're live. Hey, Duffy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Doing swell.
Yeah,
How are you?
good. Good. I've been here since 6 a.m.
Ah,
I
bright and
am.
early, huh?
I am. I was going this morning. We're doing Smash for a little bit. And also we're going to be doing Overwatch after. Osiren's going to join. Because we missed Overwatch yesterday. Unfortunately, I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. All right. Let me do stuff here. Okay, we're gonna go to notes because we have two reviews. I'm going to refresh my memory as to who they are. I have them pulled up, but not names handy. Varsity players, though, which I'm excited for. Toucan
Yes.
Sam and Bobson, it looks like. So we're going to need to add both of those to our list. Do you know where Toucan isn't professionally ranked, correct?
No, he is unranked.
Okay, cool. And the Steve player, yeah?
So Chicken Sam plays Hero, but the VOD we're reviewing today is versus Steve.
Oh, that's why I was confused. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
This is
And
it.
we actually
Yes,
I
okay,
should
duh.
mention we actually reviewed this VOD in person last week, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to go over it again.
Yeah, we'll go over it for the stream for people who want to watch, get some notes from Smash, but we'll probably go through it pretty quick then. Not Steve, sorry, just Hero. And in notes. It's also, I mean, if for no other reason than to just track, right? And make sure that we have notes for everybody.
Right.
Cool. Pull up a notepad for those notes. What did we decide on for notes for this? Um, who did we review last week?
I bel Well, last week we didn't have any submissions, but 2 weeks ago we did Steven.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Good. So we have general, mechanics, and tech. We've decided we're going to give matchup notes as well and character notes.
Oh, and I should point out that after I talked with Steven and he looked at our review and then uh, the next time he played the Inkling Max, he won.
Nice. Cool. Good.
Yeah,
Adapting.
so I was really happy about that.
That's great. All right, cool. We will get started then. Looks like this is the start of the match. Going in even 3-3, which is good. So, for anybody who is not familiar with how we play Smash here at Snhu, we do crew battles. And this is against Clark Esports, and names are mislabeled, but that's fine. Sometimes that happens. Um,
Are you screen sharing?
and I'm not. No, I'll do that. Hold up. Sorry. All right, there we go. Is there anything that you want to go over before we start with the VOD, just as far as matchup or anything to that effect?
Yeah. So going into this, we knew Antimony was going to be the toughest opponent. They are, I believe, they're New England PR right now. So they're a really strong opponent. And I elected to have Sam go in against Antimony because Hero has a surprising advantage against Steve. One of the hardest things against Steve is that they can build up their wall and sit behind it and just mine for materials pretty much for free. And
I would like to make it known that I have never seen Steve played in Super Smash Brothers. I know that they're like there was like a big tournament in which a random Steve won or had like huge upsets or something, and that Steve has been a very strong character kind of since. Um, that
yeah,
is the extent that I know.
he's arguably the best character in the game. It's a bit debatable, but I mean, he's definitely like at worst top three in the
Got it.
game.
Okay, good to know.
Um, and so his thing is that he mines for materials and then he upgrades his pickaxe and axe and his weapons um, with the materials that he's mined. So it takes time to mine for those materials, but he can build walls. He can literally place blocks on the stage to prevent the opponent from approaching. Um, and so most characters have a really tough time with that. But Hero, what Hero likes to do is pull up their menu, which pulls up 4 random spells. And there are a few spells that give them passive buffs and make them really powerful. So it's kind of like they both want to sit back and just uh, kind of hunt for their resources and their buffs. Um, and here has a few other tools that are really good against Steve, which we'll see.
Cool. Okay.
Um, so going into this, I think Sam had a pretty good game plan. I think they were expecting
Oh, okay. And
antimony.
antimony is their anchor, and they're down at
Yes,
least one stock. Okay.
yes. Um, So I think going into this, Sam was expecting Antimony to kind of sit back and play really passive, like build a wall and start mining for as much materials as you can.
Yep.
Um, but as you can see right off the bat, Antimony's actually playing a lot more aggressive, and I think that was throwing Sam off because he just wasn't ready for that
Sure.
playstyle. It didn't kind of match up with his game plan going into it.
I see. He's just chilling.
Yep. And so he just got diamond. And now he has diamond tools, which are extremely powerful. Yep.
And
So
like,
one thing that I
especially in a crew battle too, like him being able to keep that advantage is pretty high, right? Does he keep the
oh
tool for
yeah
the rest of it? Okay. Yeah.
yeah if he loses a stock, he
He
goes
loses
back
it.
to
Yep.
yeah he loses whatever tools he crafted. He goes back to wooden tools. Um, so one thing that I mentioned to Sam here is that his game plan was to pull up menu while Steve is mining and like search for his buffs, but because he's pulling up menu when Antimony's playing so aggressive, he's kind of just putting himself at a disadvantage because you're kind of locked in place. You can't move around when you're using menu. So I think the proper adjustment here was to realize that okay, Antimony's not camping. They're actually playing pretty aggressive. So I have to play a little more reactive to what they're doing and um, not be caught in my menu so often.
Right. Okay. Let's watch.
That's another tough thing about Steve is their up tilt and jab are extremely quick and really safe on shield, especially when they have diamond.
Yep. That felt like a bad time to menu.
Yeah, it's just a little overzealous. Antimony had plenty of space to land safely. And so I think Sam probably just got caught up in the heat of the moment because
Yep.
there was like a lot of things going back and forth. Like the tempo of the match was like pretty high. It was like, okay, I'm doing something, they're doing something. It was like very back and forth. And so I think Sam just kind of got caught up a little bit in that rhythm of things and felt like they needed to throw out a big hit.
Yep. I'm just gonna put down into matchup notes. Menu when Steve mines. fight when Steve fights, right?
Yeah,
Which I
pretty
think
much.
like
Yeah.
I think like from the start, instead of going into it saying like, okay, I'm gonna menu when he mines, and then expecting him to mine and then being ready to menu, rather take a look at what they're doing and then respond appropriately.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think that's the big thing is
Okay.
just being aware of what's actually happening.
Okay.
Okay, so that worked out well
Yep.
because Steve was in the corner and they didn't really have like any offense going. They were kind of just standing still in the corner. So he had time to pull up menu there.
Yep.
That was really good too. If you want to just back up like 5 seconds to where Steve was off stage,
I backed up a little too far. We'll watch us kill again and then go.
that's okay. Um, so this is a perfect example of how to deal with minecart and just Steve in general. You kind of want to be in this like sort of mid range where you're close but not too close.
That way you're able to jump
And
minecart and pressure afterward.
yeah, and so Sam does this perfectly, really. So if you let this play, you'll see he's close enough that Antimony wants to go for minecart, but he's not so close that he's going to get hit by it right away, and he's able to back up and jump over it. And if you watch top players like Mudace and Meister play against Steve, I think they're two of the best players against Steve. Spargo too, actually, but
Do they play hero?
no, they play different characters, but they all kind of take that approach of like being close enough to make the Steve uncomfortable, but not so close that they're gonna get hit by whatever
Yep.
Steve throws out. Because for as strong as Steve is, he doesn't have great range. Like most characters have at least one or two moves that kind of outrange Steve.
Yeah, couldn't get back here.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, that's the whole VOD, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to go back to, there's one thing in particular, I think it was before, it was second stock, maybe here. So, like, one of the things, because I want to talk about just this matchup a little bit, and obviously we talked about, menu when they mine, fight when they fight. I think another thing that we want to consider, which is difficult to do, is diamond tools, right? Because
Yeah.
here, after he got diamond tools last stock, and now he has diamond tools for basically this entire stock. And talking a little bit about pressure, especially when Steve has diamond tools, is the goal here basically just rush him down and get the stock out so that you can try to reset because you have healthy life, right? Or you just try to stay away from him?
I think it's hard to say you should go one way or the other. I mean, I honestly think you should probably just be trying to play neutral. I don't think you should necessarily be trying to like run away from him completely, but I also don't necessarily think you should be trying to like just get in on him constantly.
Sure. I think there was a particular
Um,
spot where I think that it was relevant. So I'm gonna play this out and I'm gonna try to pause it when I see that happening.
okay. That being said, if you win neutral against Steve, some characters can really smother Steve in disadvantage. And Steve typically uses a lot of resources while he's in disadvantage, particularly minecart and anvil.
Yep.
So if you're able to constantly keep Steve in disadvantage, you're gonna force him to use a lot of resources. So if you're able to win the neutral, then you should try to keep your advantage up as much as possible. That is one area that Steve
It
can
was
struggle
here. It
against.
was this menu. That's what I was thinking
Oh,
about. So,
okay, yeah.
yeah. Is this menu necessary here for? I know that I said bad time to menu earlier, but like, I want to think about this matchup where people's life totals are at, right? Should he just be pushing him as opposed to trying to menu and push, or is this necessary to get this kill?
I don't think you have to menu here. If you can back up just like 5 seconds, like maybe with the arrow key, I don't know.
I forgot to switch my keyboard, so I do not have arrow key. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Um, let's see. So Steve is in the air. I'm
I think a punish there is probably.
yeah, yeah, because you're really just trying to catch his landing, and he still has his double jump. I mean, he didn't use it, but
Yep.
yeah, I don't think menu's like It's not necessary here.
Okay. I think just like when diamond tools are out and Steve has high damage, pressure harder, or at least don't look to menu as like a necessary thing to do to pressure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in an advantage state, I mean, like in this particular instance, you're just trying to catch Steve's landing,
Yeah,
and already has a really good tool to catch landings, which is side B. Um, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, probably side B is the better tool here. When you mentioned when Steve has diamond tools, I think you said like you want to pressure him more.
and they
I
have
want to
high
say
damage is my only.
right. Um, you do want to be careful. Like you don't want to like look at Steve and see like okay if they have diamond, then like I need to kill them right now, because then you'll get a little bit antsy, and you do still have to play neutral.
Just like reactive neutral. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put under character notes. Don't look to menu as a necessity for pressure. Like you just it looks like the tendency here, or at least this one instance, they think I can pressure or I am going to need this in order to finish this kill. Where like the first reaction was to catch him on his fall. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, okay, all right. Any particular general mechanics or tech that would be helpful for Sam?
Um. No, I think m- same as like mostly mechanically fine. I think it was mostly just kind of like game plan and uh just matchup knowledge that uh kind of got Sam here.
Got it. Okay. All right. I think that this is fine for notes then. We're just gonna put in, matchup. Menu when Steve mines, fight when Steve fights, right? Like match their aggression, and then don't look at the menu as a necessity for pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, fairly short VOD, fairly easy, and I know that you guys already talked about this, so we'll uh we'll put those in. Sam can take a look at those and try it in their next Steve matchup. All right, next we got to put in Bobson.
Yes.
Bobson also, I believe, not professionally ranked, if I recall correctly.
Right. Yep. He is unranked.
Cool. And me fighter is the way that I should be saying this.
Me brawler.
Me brawler, because they have different
Yeah.
archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
So there's also sword fighter, which is
Got it. And brawler is
different.
more like a literal fighter archetype, correct? Or excuse me,
Yes.
brawler. Yeah, like fighting game fighter archetype.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay. Sorry. I can get confusing.
No, that's
Um
fine.
okay, cool. We are going to talk about matchup real quick. So, Bobson I if I watched this live, I think, and I'm pretty sure that Bobson goes on an absolute run here. And I want to make sure that I am looking at the correct matchup that Bobson put in, or at least was asking for. They literally just gave us the whole VOD.
Oh yeah, I think he should have given us the timestamp because I was with him when he was submitting this, and I
Yeah.
told him to put a timestamp. So.
Oh, 24:59. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it actually just
Oh, it's
automatically jumped to this. So
right. Okay,
cool.
yeah, it's in the
So
link.
we
Yeah. Okay.
did want the next matchup, which is good. Okay, this matchup. What do we got for matchup for this?
Sorry, I lost my screen. I need to get back.
I'm still sharing, right? Yeah.
You are. There we go. Okay. Um. All right. So Brawler Ness. So Ness is a really quirky character. Um. He's very floaty. So he's in the air a lot, and he can press a lot of buttons very quickly in the air. Um. And his aerials are very big. For a small character. Um. They're like semi disjointed. Um, I think the thing against Ness is you mostly want to play a whiff punish game and try to juggle them when possible. Um, because although they have really strong aerials and they're really quick, he can't really cover directly below him very well. Um, his down air is very slow, and the only other thing he can really do to cover below him is like neutral air, which is a really small hitbox below him. Um, so because Ness is typically going to be jumping a lot, you want to look for these opportunities where he puts himself in the air. And me Brawler being a pretty fast character, and they're also a fast faller, they can juggle pretty well. So it's mostly going to be looking for juggle opportunities, I think.
Cool. So we're looking to juggle off of whiffs, basically.
Yeah, and me Brawler has pretty good whiff punish tools. Like his dash attack is pretty solid. He has his fast fall nair, so you can fall down on top of people for whipping things. It's so he definitely has some good tools for doing that.
Okay.
Annoying things ever, and I hate
Oh, we
them
got
because they
commentary
keep dragging
too.
you across stage and then you get spiked. But very excited to get into this. Looks like they have their own me brawler. Looks like they got the side B
Now, I
suplex
don't know
with
about
the
you, but I
Ryukin.
I
Oh, but
typically review VODs without commentary.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I tend to find it's nothing against the commentators, but I just tend to find it a little bit distracting.
It's gonna be hard for us to talk too. So yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right. We go.
Okay, so that's just kind of a matchup thing with PK Fire.
Yep. Hit him real hard.
You Yeah, you can kind of get linked into multiple PK Fires, but there is an opportunity to escape. You can SDI, which stands for Smash Directional Influence, away from the PK Fire. So if you repeatedly hit a direction on your left stick, you can wiggle your character away from multi-hit moves. And because PK Fire is a multi-hit move, you can SDI away and hold shield, or you can jump, you can roll. There's definitely an opportunity. There's a small window of opportunity where you can escape that chain of PK Fires.
Got it. So that's like it's all multi hits, right? So it's I'm gonna put that into general rather than specifically matchup. I mean, it's good to know for the matchup, but
Yeah, it works for all multi-hit
good for
moves.
all. Okay, cool.
Actually works for all moves, but it's most effective against multi-hit moves because it's you can do it multiple times in a row.
Yep. So that like that whole kind of string there is kind of what you were talking about. Get under nest, force them to try to use moves, and as they whiff, try to juggle. Right? That's our game
Yeah.
plan here.
Yep.
Nice.
And that's something else Me Brawler has, which is pretty brutal. Is down throw up B, which kills at a very specific percent window, but it's a pretty low percent
Yep.
window. Okay, I like the way Bobson is playing neutral here. Ness can control the ground pretty well
Yep.
because he has PK fire. He also has dash attack and forward air, which are both very good at kind of like walling out horizontally. Vertically, though, Ness, because he's so floaty, he can't really cover above him as efficiently. If he does try to cover the vertical space, he's making a decent commitment compared to a character like Me Brawler, who's a fast faller.
Got it.
If a floaty character decides to jump to cover a vertical space, they're going to be in the air for a longer period of time. So it's a little bit more of a commitment. And so on this stock, after Ness, what's his name? Banana. After he respawns, you can see Bobson just kind of playing vertically. He's like staying above him.
And when he's not, he's getting punished.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I think
unfortunately,
I think just matchup
sorry, go ahead.
nodes. I think that's relevant just to put in matchup nodes from here. Like we're looking to pressure from above rather than side to side because PK fire is so strong. The grab is very strong, right?
Mm-hmm. PK fire is reactable and it travels really low to the ground, so you can just jump over it.
Yep.
One thing I want to point out, how Bobson lost his previous stock was to Ness back throw. So Ness has a notoriously strong back throw. It's the strongest back throw in the game. So pretty much anytime you get grabbed by Ness north of, I don't know, 90, you want to DI for back throw. And the weird thing about this was that Bobson got grabbed on the right side of the stage, but got back thrown to the left. And normally when you get grabbed in the corner of a stage like that, you want to DI towards the stage. So Bobson was holding left there. Because normally most characters would throw you to the right.
Right.
But Banana didn't do that because he's Ness. He threw him to the left, which was his back throw in this instance. So I think Bobson probably could have lived that if he was DIing correctly, which would have been probably in. So would have been. Oh, actually,
it would have been
right.
Yeah.
DIing to the right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna put that in general. No, I guess that's just Ness, right?
Yeah, like for most characters, you probably would want to hold towards the stage, but against Ness, if you get grabbed, you just want to DI for back throw, regardless of where you are on the stage.
Yep. I've just put in DI back throw in the opposite direction as normal against Ness because he's probably going to throw you the opposite way.
Okay, really nice. So that situation where Bobson was just kind of like jumping up and down on top of him.
Yep.
Me Brawler is like, he's kind of like Fox. Like Fox is always looking for openings by falling down on top of people. They're like kind of golden thing that they really want is falling nair, and Brawler's kind of the same way. And so the obvious answer to that is to just hold shield. So Bobson was jumping up and down on top of Banana, and instead of just letting the nair rip, he noticed that, okay, Banana's shielding right now, so if I just throw out a nair, it's just going to hit their shield. And they could parry it, they could punish me maybe. So they did a really nice mix-up where they footstooled off of the shield, and then landed on the ground without doing any aerials, and then went for a jab. So it was just a nice timing mix-up
Yep.
and good awareness.
And that combo is like, that's going to be bread and butter, right? When you get down there, you get an opening, and then is that down smash? And then up B? Is that like how that combo works?
Down throw, yeah, down throw to up B.
Got it.
That's kind of like this is main kill confirm.
We just be giving Ness edges because of how Ness is? Or are we fighting edges? Like, because it seems like our game plan is play from above, but because of the upbeat, the lightning bolt, PK,
PK Thunder.
yeah, PK Thunder. Thank you. Whew, brain was just like, no, we're not doing it today.
That's okay.
Are we just like trying to not fight and get caught in that? Or are we going to let him land and then still continue to attack from above? Should that be game plan?
So are you talking about when Ness is trying to land?
Yeah, when Ness is trying to
Or
recover, land corner, or get back on stage.
so I think if Ness is trying to land, like if they're above the stage, he's pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm
If he's
talking from like corners, from like bottom
okay,
corners, recovery.
gotcha. Okay, so in that instance, it kind of depends on the character. Like some characters have really good tools to mess with Ness off stage.
Yep,
Um, for a character like me, Brawler, I probably wouldn't recommend going off stage that much against Ness. He has shot put, which is a projectile that he can just throw out there without giving up stage.
yep,
Um, you might occasionally go out there with Nair if they've already used their double jump and they're just kind of low on resources.
yep.
Because Nair is very active and it sends them sideways. But for the most part, I would probably want to stay on stage.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily
And
even talking about like full denial of edging, right? I'm more talking about like, is it worth fighting in this corner region
okay.
in general? Are we just gonna let Ness get back up here because they, can PK Thunder themselves, or they can PK Fire when they get up? Like, should we just be maintaining mid stage control
No, I think it's okay to
to pressure? Okay,
pressure Ness in the corner. He has some tricks that you have to watch out for,
grab is a
like he
big one,
can,
right?
yeah, the grab, especially when you're at, like I said, like north of 90 or so. Um, but he can do the little like semicircle PK Thunder above the ledge. He can do a rising forward air from the ledge. Um, so you probably want to maintain like roll distance from ledge and just play reactive, like see what they do. Like a lot of Nesses are probably gonna jump from ledge and press a button. So if you kind of let them do that first, you can just stick to your normal game plan of like punishing them for being in the air.
Cool. All right.
You can see this shot put there.
Shot boat, man, it's the goofiest ability.
Yeah. And I like what Bobson did there where when he got Ness off stage, he jumped out there to kind of make it look like he was going to chase off stage, but then just double jumped back.
Yep.
And that's a really easy thing you can do, like very non-committal that still applies some pressure
Yep.
because your opponent's going to be looking at you and saying like, "Oh my gosh, they're chasing me off stage. Like I have to be ready if they're going to swing at me out here." Um, so it's just like positional pressure, even though he didn't actually throw out any attacks there. Okay. It's Good use of shield here from Bobson.
Yep.
This Ness is definitely swinging a lot. He can kind of like feel that the Ness wants to get a falling aerial.
Yep.
And they actually get it there. So Bobson dropped shield and got hit by the forward air into grab. So that's okay. You know, if you're a character with a really strong out of shield game, that can be useful against Ness too, because they are going to try to land with their aerials because their aerials are so strong.
Yep.
And Me Brawler has some pretty good out of shield options. Okay, just mistimed. He had the right read, but just mistimed it.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice punish.
So one thing I want to, yeah, really good punish. That's actually the second time he's punished that particular up air. So there was another stock that Bobson got by Bobson was shielding on the platform and Ness did a rising full hop up air. And just like we've been saying, you want to punish Ness when they're in the air. So if you have a good out of shield option, you can punish Ness for doing that. Some characters can probably just let go of shield and hit them with whatever. So definitely be looking for like rising aerials against Ness.
Yeah, I think that we're kind of identifying like the way that we want to approach this is generally if Ness is going to play ground, right? We are playing this from above, nair to open and punish whiffs, or nairing like he did earlier while Ness was just shielding and hanging out next to him and then punching him when he dropped shield. But then when Ness is trying to play that like above game because he's so floaty, like staying low to the ground and punishing upwards, the opposite.
Yes.
So just like always interacting on a vertical rather than a horizontal.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
There was one other thing I wanted to point out that really doesn't have anything to do with Ness, and it was with Bobson's excuse me, ledge trapping and corner pressure. There were a few instances where Bobson would go for an additional shot put.
I'm gonna try to pull it back and we'll see. I think he does it
Yeah,
here.
maybe we'll see it here.
It's the
Yeah,
second
that's
one.
actually exactly, yeah.
Yep.
So I think the first shot put is fine. I think it's good. The second shot put I feel like is too much because you're giving your opponent an opportunity to get back on stage, and actually Banana did get back on stage here, and I think they could have gotten back to center if they recognized the situation.
That he was taking so long to throw that second one, yeah.
Yeah. I think if the first shot put hits, then obviously you'll be fine doing the second one, but I think you need to be aware of if that first one hits or not.
Yeah, like he could have just come straight in and taken center here.
Yep. So I think it's just something to be aware of. I think probably Ness's really big double jump might have thrown Bobson off here because when he let that second one go, Ness was still below the ledge. But he has such a gigantic double jump that he was able to just jump right back on stage.
Yep. Okay, cool. I think that that's probably a good amount. I mean, these are pretty. The notes that we have for this are pretty specific, and Smash is going to be a different game than all the rest because for the most part, like when we're doing a Val review or we're doing an Overwatch review, we can give like one pretty specific recommendation, and that's going to level people up. In this one, we definitely have some very good me brawler and like character related stuff and general mechanics. So hopefully, I'd say focus more specifically, Bobson, on these ones that I'm about to put in the character notes and the general notes rather than matchup. But obviously, if you play a Ness again, you can go back to this, take a look, think about what you're planning, what you're doing. Cool. All right. I think that that's gonna do it for Smash today.
Okay.
We had two, and do we want to go? Do we want to go further with Bobson? Do we want to look at another matchup? Because I know that he makes it through this matchup and
We
goes on a
can.
pretty hard tear.
I mean, I definitely would love to just watch this personally.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
It's
All
fun to
right.
see him take. I think he takes like 7 stocks.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Before we get started there, Bobson, you're gonna have a whole lot of notes here, so good. Um, this is Pit. Is this Dark Pit in a weird skin color, or is this just Pit? Is there a difference?
This
Am
is
I just
Pitt.
making this up?
No, there's some slight differences. The
Okay,
biggest difference is their arrows. Pitt has the weaker arrows that you can change direction with,
got it.
and then Dark Pit has the stronger arrows that pretty much go in a straight line.
Okay, matchup stuff. Just before we even get into it.
Um, so Pitt, he's a pretty straightforward character. He's kind of what people like to say is a fundies character, which stands for fundamentals. He's not really going to hit you with any like crazy character specific thing that you weren't ready for, the way, a Steve might do.
Yep.
Um, he's a very straightforward character. Um, and the way people tend to play him is kind of like whiff punish heavy. So they'll be like dashing in and out, trying to get you to whiff something, and then they'll come and punish you with usually a grab or a neutral air or a dash attack. So that's kind of the stuff you want to look out for in neutral.
Cool. Okay, seems pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
Okay, you can see Bobson already just looking for these grabs. Grab is a really good opener for me brawler.
Yep. Nice.
So we saw a really good example of corner pressure against Pitt about 10 seconds ago. One of Pitt's strengths that is also kind of a weakness is his double jump. His double jump doesn't go very high, but he does have multiple jumps.
Yep.
So what a lot of Pitts will do is if they're in the air trying to land against you, they'll start using their double jumps, kind of jumping back and forth to kind of mix up where they're going to land. But because their jump doesn't go very high, it's can be pretty easy to just jump up there and hit them.
Okay. Cool. The suplex.
Yeah, that's a really good move. I am sensing a little bit of I don't know what I should call it. Maybe I want to say I feel like Bobson's playing a little bit antsy.
Like maybe just last stock
Yeah.
syndrome, right?
Um, yeah, that was a really good adjustment there. So there were a few spots where Bobson would kind of just he would get some momentum going, but then the pit player would kind of fall out of, or yeah, fall out of whatever Bobson was doing. But then Bobson would continue his quote unquote pressure. Like he would continue pressing buttons even though the pit had already escaped. Um, Part of that is going to happen on Wi-Fi because you have less time to react. So if you're going for like a combo starter into like a finisher, you don't necessarily have time to react to if the combo starter like connected or not.
Yep.
So you are going to get those like two pieces of like you go for a starter, miss, and then go for the follow up anyway. That is going to happen. But aside from those like one to like two piece things, I think Bobson could be a little more aware of like when his moves are hitting or not, and just kind of recognize if he whiffed, then he needs to like readjust
Yep.
and
Okay.
not necessarily immediately commit to pressing another button.
We also saw the double shot put again.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, there was another one.
Okay, I think Bobson had the right idea there, jumping in with Nair. I think it
Yep.
was just a little bit. I think the Nair was a little bit too early when Pitt was firing those arrows from the corner. And Bobson was doing a great idea of great.
Just the punch.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of baiting this Pit player in.
Yep.
Because he recognized that the Pit player is going for a lot of side Bs, which is really punishable. So you would see Bobson like get pretty close to Pit to make him uncomfortable, and then he would like dash away and then punish him for trying to come in with the side B.
Yep. I don't really have any particular matchup notes there. Only that we saw don't overcommit
Yeah, you kind of have to
when you
like
whiff.
react to when you miss.
Yeah. All right. I don't have any particular pit notes then. Toon Link projectile controller, right? For the
Yeah,
most
pretty
part.
much.
Okay.
Yep.
So really, it's the name of the game here is dodge and get in.
Yeah, yeah. Just try to avoid getting hit by the flurry of projectiles being thrown your way. You don't want to give him any free damage if you can help it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a really good tool that Me Brawler has. Is that flip kick that can kind of
Yeah.
neutralize a lot of the projectiles.
You kind of just jump right over hook, boomerangs and arrows and stuff.
Yeah. I like the way Bobson is playing this. He's jumping in over the projectiles, but he's not just immediately trying to hit the Toon Link player every time.
Yep.
Sometimes he is just going for the swing, but sometimes he's just jumping in and not pressing anything or just holding shield, which is good. That's pretty much what you want to do, just to mix up your approaches. Okay, a little overzealous on the up B, maybe in his misinput.
Yep.
Okay, again, just a little overzealous. Like there's moments where Bobson is playing like really solid and just like kind of playing correctly, so to speak.
Yep.
Like this is a good example. Misses the down air, but I mean, that happens. But then there's instances where like I feel like he gets kind of carried away and he's like, okay, I'm getting the hits that I want. Now I can go for something extra. or maybe he just says like, well, screw it, I'm gonna go for this huge hit.
Yeah, it's like I've taken 6 stocks already. I might as well just go real hard for this. I think that it's actually in both instances, right? And this is probably a more specific recommendation to crew battles and kind of what we do, as opposed to necessarily like traditional 1v1 matchups. But Bobson, when he's getting low percent, when he was, on third stock or on his last stock, last round, he started to get a little bit antsy and a little bit uncomfortable. And it looks like here too, he's really just trying to like pressure, stay alive, get as much as he can. He's playing differently, like pretty differently. So I think just don't let stock get into your head.
Yeah, it's definitely about staying composed.
Yeah,
Keeping that composure, which can be hard to do. I mean, I think the more that you get used to being uncomfortable, and if you can somehow find a way to, I don't know if it's like tricking yourself to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, but you can kind of find a way to be comfortable and like familiar with the uncomfortableness of
right.
being in a tense situation. And it's kind of like, okay, I've been here before. I'm used to this feeling. I know what it's like to be like this, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, all right. Nice run.
Yeah, really good run. I mean, I remember Jacob Bobson telling me, man, oh, I could have got one more stock. I could have got one more. And I was like, yeah, you could have.
You also got
You
six
got
or
7.
seven. Yeah.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, 7's good. 7's really good.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to take these notes. We'll put them in for you, Bobson. A lot of notes. So, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the nest stuff, like I said, pretty specific, but the general stuff is definitely something to look into, and I'm actually going to make this. Oh god, I can like never. Google Sheets, man. It is. I struggle with it. There we go.
Mm.
Okay. PK Fire or any multi-hit to escape. Don't overcommit when you whiff. Don't let stocks get into your head, and don't overextend due to the stock number. We're gonna skip this nest stuff. You can look at that when it is relevant. But me brawler, some specific stuff here too. More specifically, calling out that second shot, but because you do have a habit of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And, I think a lot of these things, they become pretty self-apparent just from watching. And, I think that's the power of VOD review. It's like looking in a mirror, you know?
Yep. Yeah. So take this stuff, bring it into practice and into your future games, and we'll you send it another VOD. We will get a review done. Hopefully, some of this stuff will get worked out, specifically your character stuff. Mostly this stuff is just tech, and maybe a little bit of mental focus. Should be good from there. All right, Duffy, thank you very much for joining me. We are going to be switching to Overwatch, like I said. Osiren is not here yet, so what I'm going to do is play a ranked game of Overwatch for everybody to watch in the meantime, and then we're going to get into Overwatch VOD review.
All right. Sounds good. Will I see you at the charity event today
You
at
will.
12?
I will be
Okay.
here. We will make, I think, blankets, if I understand correctly, and hopefully we'll have enough blankets for everybody because we got a lot of the program coming in to do so. So space will be a question, but I will be here. We'll hang out.
Okay, cool. Sounds fun. I'll see you there.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining.
Of course. See ya.
Bye. All right, everybody. I'm going to get Overwatch booted up. We're going to play a game. I am still in placements. I have not played Overwatch in a very significant amount of time. We'll see how it goes. I am a support player, and I know that we are doing if I recall correctly. We are doing a couple of support VODs today and a tank VOD, so I definitely cannot say that my support play is going to be incredibly beneficial to anybody, but hopefully I can put in some of the principles from last week. I tend to play Kiriko and Zenyatta, so I'm going to queue support. We are going to see how that goes. Okay, please hold. I have to edit my game capture so that we can actually see what I am doing. We get a black screen. We got nothing. Please hold. We also got very loud bings. Sorry. We're capturing Overwatch now. Hello. Okay. And get me on the screen. Get me on the screen. There we go. Hello. All right. I am actually going to take a look real quick at who did we have that was playing Kiriko? I think Sonic Blade. Yeah, so some of the recommendations that we were making, fairly simple ones, utilizing that natural cover for Kiriko. Don't press W when using knives, and staying kind of a little bit out of the fight unless we're committing to a fight.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
I like Kiriko over Zen on push, only because she's got a lot more mobility, can get herself out of things a little bit more quickly, and my positioning isn't perfect, and I definitely get too far forward on Zen or get jumped on Zen too often.
I'll find my own path.
Alright, let's hear that fighting spirit. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Pharah, Widow, Ramatra, Lucio. Alright, let's do it.
1. Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
Definitely shouldn't have gone with this Widow, but here we are.
Carried on the wind. Be purified. You take a lot of damage, huh?
I can just heal right now. There we go.
They're pushing the barricade. give up that easily. Be healed. Stop their barricades. Time to try again. Time for the reckoning. Draw strength from nature. Just needed a dash of mischief.
Alright, try to push us all the way back.
Carried on the wind. Let me Snhu guide you. Let me balance you out. Nice. Like a gentle rain.
A little too late on the tally.
Time to get clever. Over here.
We're going.
Amid discord, we will find tranquility.
Well,
The cycle begins anew.
Take you where you need
Let
to go.
me assist you. It takes 100 times to learn, 1,000 times to understand.
Come here if you want some healing.
I release your suffering.
Time for a fight.
The enemy has stolen away our friend. This does not go Experience tranquility. You must accept the pain.
this corner, man.
is acceptable. Giving up is not.
60 seconds remaining.
Where's my tank? There we go. I'm stuck. Trying to play the robot. Alright, we lost. I am going to pull Osiren in here. What's up, Osiren?
Play of the game.
I cannot hear you at all. There you are, you're super quiet though. I got you turned up to 200% right now.
I'm throwing up the microphone so it's louder.
Alright. You ready to go? Should I do another? Where are we at?
We should be. I'm here.
Okay, alright, we're good. Alright, I got Overwatch pulled up. Let me get the VODs pulled up and we'll be ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. Is that louder?
That is louder, that is much better, thank you.
Okay.
We go back here. Okay. Alright, we are gonna open up the VOD submissions. Okay, we got 2 from Sonic Blade, 1 Ana, King's Row, 1 Kiriko, Midtown. I'm gonna focus on the Kiriko Midtown because we're kind of on that Kiriko track. I think we're just gonna be doing this one. And then we also got Nick back with a Sigma game on Coliseum. So let's do Midtown first. I'll pull that up here. I am gonna mute Overwatch so I don't have to listen to this.
Prepare to attack.
There we go. We're gonna pause that for a moment. Okay, I think we're about ready. Let's look at notes before we get started there. Okay, Sonic Blade Kiriko. Kind of like I mentioned before I started that game, looking at utilizing natural cover instead of standing out in the open. Don't press W when using knives, keeping a little bit of that time or that space. Not teleporting into chaos, teleporting away from pressure when you get it, and utilizing wall climb and playing high ground a lot. So that's stuff we're going to be taking a look at. Did we have another one? No. Okay, so that's this one. Oop. And do we have a rank update? Sonic Blade, Overwatch, Bronze 3. This VOD is Bronze 5. Can you remind me if that's higher or lower? Because every game's
lower.
different. Okay, that's lower. We're going down, Sonic Blade.
If I had to give Ted a realistic rank, I think Ted is like a top 1, maybe top 1 player in the
Yo,
country.
okay. Alright, okay, let's get into the VOD. Did I see that One Trick is top 500 right now?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Good. All right.
Select your hero.
Well, maybe we turn it down a little bit too. Kiriko mid down. I forget which map we looked at last time.
That was Coliseo.
Coliseo, thank you. How's your morning going, Osiren?
Good.
Good.
Just woke up, just chilling.
Nice.
All good things. Is there someone on his team named Chalky Milk 34 or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a great name.
Chucky Milk.
Shed the weight of your doubts, and your mind will become clear.
Yeah, so I remember the number one thing we said last time was like you have so much space in this ring, so you should look to take advantage of it always. Just like don't force yourself to get too close to someone.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Barrier is splintering. Barrier unsuccessful.
That's really good, but your Sigma's full health. You should be spamming down choke at this point.
Yep.
Good bell. Good bell. The only thing you could have done there is swing out wider, but I think Sig still dies. Even
Yeah, I think Sigma got a little overzealous there.
swing wide, I mean walk right, like on top of that Dax or something like that.
My gift to you.
This is something that is fairly difficult in lower levels, and if y'all just watched the game that I just played, happens pretty often. Your tank goes down and your team isn't resetting to go get them and play while they're up. You're going to have more and more members fall, and then that can snowball into just like you constantly be playing down a player. So just note, like, if that Zen is up here alone, you don't overcommit here. You're doing a good job of staying back, but make sure to keep it in mind. Because now you're way out of position. You have no tank, you have no second support, right?
Yeah, the only thing you can't do is what you're doing right there, where you're just spamming.
Yep.
I've got you.
Right there, that's like an awareness thing, where you may have not processed that the Mercy was low because you weren't looking at your health bar or something like that. I would have just fired a shot at her, tried to dink her and finish her off, and then if you do realize that, you realize your Winston's probably, if he sees it, he's gonna go for it. So you're more prepared to heal him there, and you're prepared to use Bell because you know, he's gonna go into their team, and you can also like pre-heal him, so he gets healed like before he even takes damage, because he's gonna take damage there. So.
Yep.
Hold on, I gotta go get you. Oh, busy Scott, never mind.
Okay.
Let me balance you out.
Miller was at the door.
I like that teleport. Nice.
Oh my. Bell wasn't needed, but that's like a thing that really didn't matter.
Yep.
Your monkey had the bubble up. No, your monkey.
Get your ult. That's a drink.
Objective's mine.
Yeah, if you're healing your Zen there over damaging the Dwarf, he probably doesn't force his drink there. Also, the one thing I noticed, you don't press tab a lot. You should be pressing tab a lot more to see what ults your team has, so you can look to play around them.
I frankly, I don't do it too much when I am fighting, but like here, you're kind of in this lull. There's a reset. You're gonna start pushing this. This is a good time to tab. I always do it when I'm running back, just to see kind of where everybody's at pre-fight. So you can kind of get those triggers. There's a similar. It's much faster, but there's a similar idea in Valorant. So one of the things that people have a really hard time with in lower levels in Valorant is minimap time and knowing when to be looking at the minimap and getting killed because they are holding an angle and then they look up and look at the minimap and then they get shot because they're looking at the minimap, not their crosshair. Similar idea here, right? There, you can find opportune times where you are not in a fight, you are between fights, that you can check tab and look for that, look for info. So try to, if you recognize it's not fighting time, it is reset time, hit tab and check resources.
Like a gentle rain.
Yeah, he did the right thing there, where you go behind cart.
Yep.
You could have gotten just destroyed there. You are very good at using like natural cover and corners to like make sure you're not getting hit. Like right here, you do it here very very well.
The breeze brings relief.
Sometimes you just gotta realize you can use that natural cover on Kiriko especially to just like short poke, where you just like peek out from around a corner, hit a shot, then walk back behind cover.
You just molten core nothing.
Dutch Tyson.
You should.
Yeah,
It's one of
so
those times you have to TP to him.
well, this doesn't necessarily need to be a TP, right? Now it does, but 5 seconds ago, right? Here, you can recognize your monkey's going in, they're underneath. You guys want to take this high ground, or at least your monkey does. Like, you can just climb up here and save your escape if you need to. But when you wait too long and kind of let that happen and aren't prepared for it, now you have to teleport to save him effectively.
Good TP there though.
Yep.
Good bell.
I've got you.
What the?
Let's get the
Oh, your monkey's dead.
Nope.
Nice, nice. That was him. He split himself off there.
Yep. Melee's on.
like a gentle rain.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Realized that and you punched her.
Weird time for tab.
My ultimate is ready. Join me. Let's get the payload going. Komorebi no gotoku.
Already? Already? Sounds like GG? Like,
Under my
this
protection.
is an even game. What are they on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, want to point out the other team has like 3-4 ults. If they're saying GG, I don't know what's up.
Might have had somebody leave, maybe.
I would just ult here. Yep.
Yep, there you go.
All good. You're playing behind cover.
Draw strength from nature.
Nice.
Good spam. You're not getting yourself in there either into the mess. Hitting the healing stage right. Yep, exactly. Everything you need to do there. Everything was like perfect. Exactly how you need to play
Yep.
that. That
I
was
mean,
really good.
that was a great attack. No, literally the only thing that we really saw was press tab to get information a little bit more and do it when you are not in the middle of combat. But otherwise, like if you keep doing this, you will not be dropping rank. Let's look at the other side.
Score 3-0. Switching sides. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Draw strength from nature.
Your junk needs to leave. All you.
Restoring balance.
Good healing. Yeah.
Nice.
Good choice of healing over whatever. Not your fault. Don't worry about it.
That is tough. You missed the wall ride, and you were like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna walk up the stairs." And Junk was like, "Heh."
Let's get back to it. The breeze brings relief.
Playing Rhine now? Oh my god. And balls here? Okay, that's good. Yeah, you need to be very careful of Ball when playing Kiriko, because he's just able to blow you up, even with Bell and all this stuff. Oh, if you stand, there's two things you could have done there. You could have either A, stood still, so you're making sure that you're lining up that shot on the Junkrat's head or the tire, and second, just Bell your tanks. And Bell your Rhine and Junkrat when the tire goes out and you know you didn't hit it.
Yep.
I'm here. EMP activated. Be healed.
I think something you can get in the habit of too is start like recognizing like oh my, oh man, you seem to touch. Recognize like what is going to happen in the next like 2-3 seconds. Like people talk about that with chess sometimes. Like predict the next 2-3 moves. Start to predict like your team and their teams like what they're probably gonna do, because that will help out like who you're supposed to heal, like what you're supposed to do. That helps out a ton. Just like think 3 steps ahead. And it should be really easy because the steps happen a lot slower here, and then as you get the higher ranks, those steps will get faster and faster. So you gotta make the decisions. Just think about like what are people likely to do in this scenario, if that makes sense.
Under my protection.
All right. I'm glad you held on to Bell, or not Bell. Alt there. Good drag. Nice shot.
Nice shot. Yep, good. Cutting a little less of him. Most importantly, you walk with your tank instead of
Gentle rain.
swing yourself from your tank there, so that was good. Here though, I think in general you need to start talking about wanting to use your Kiriko ult to start fights, because sometimes you like you hold on to it for a bit too long because you're building it very quickly. You need to just like start using it.
Yep.
because
Like I said, I thought it was good that you didn't throw it in that 2 fights ago, basically. But then you should have recognized at the start of the next fight, this is going to win this fight more quickly. We can throw it at the start of the fight and be able to defend this better
Yeah.
afterward.
So one mentality that like lower ranked players sometimes get into is that like an ult is supposed to be like a 6K changing game ult. Like an ult is a cooldown, and it should be used as like an ability and not treated as like a fight win button. You know. So like, don't be afraid to just use it as like a piece of utility, because if you win the fight, you win the fight. Doesn't matter what you use to use it, especially in this rank. And you don't even have to think about ult eco right now at where you're at. So
Yep.
just use it whenever you get it, like the fight that you get it. Don't use it like when you're up like 1-2 people. Then it's not worth it.
Draw strength from nature.
Monkey's really going hard, huh?
And that's like a 3-step thing. You realize like, oh, he's alone. He's probably gonna be low health, and then you walk over to him and heal him. There. So
Yep. Which, I mean, good and bad. Like, don't let a tank that is going to isolate themselves pull you too far, right? You stayed back well enough. You tried to help a little bit. I think it's good. If the monkey's going to go just die to 5, you can't really pull him back.
and as Kiriko, you do have a little bit of that flexibility.
Yeah, like you could have
You-
tellied in there, but then it's a 2v5 and still not awesome, right?
Well,
But
yeah,
you can go in
walk-
and telly back.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably the best thing to do. Best thing here is die on cart. You shouldn't be staggering. Or if you die on cart here, you stop progress and you make sure your respawns line up with the rest of your team.
Okay.
Okay.
Or Junk can do that. That's fine. Nice.
Yeah, your aim is good. You should. if you spam more, you'll like win more games. Honestly. Wall.
Underestimated me, nah?
Nice.
Draw strength from nature.
Yeah, not TPing yourself in there is good. You're basically just doing everything you need to.
You have no excuses now. The breeze brings relief.
Come on, Ribbons. Get in there. Okay.
Okay. You probably could have had 3 or 4 of those. Like I said, you just use it to engage a fight or clutch out a fight, anything along those lines.
Okay. Much better. Like,
A
way
lot
better
better.
than last week, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest one, I mean, the general, I'm going to put in utilize tab in between fights or when out of combat to read information. Because your utilization of tab was like you never tabbed, and then you tabbed in the middle of a fight while you were trying to aim a couple times, which is weird. I don't know if that was a fat finger or if that was just like, I really need this info right now, real quick. But do it pre-fight, so that you know kind of what we have, what they have, what you can think of a little bit. Offense was great. I think it's just two small general tips. It's tab when out of combat for information and engage fights with ult as often as possible. Especially like if you think very specifically in this support lineup that you have you and Zen, which is a weird one, I'm going to be honest, but fine. Zen is going to be utilizing their ult defensively, right? They're going to utilize that in response to another team's ult or people jumping on him or you or the backline or something to that effect. You can utilize yours offensively to try to win fights before that even needs to happen. Good Zenyatta will utilize their ult to negate other ults from the enemy team. So I think just those two things. I really don't think I wouldn't necessarily put you in aim training a ton right now. What do you think, Asaren?
Yeah. I think the third thing is just start to think about like, oh, what's gonna happen next sometimes.
Yeah.
So you don't play reactive, you play like you're always prepared for something. Start to like think about that a little bit. So like once you get up to like gold plat, then you have that ingrained and you're able to like shoot up even higher.
Yep, and that'll come to with your while you're using tab to read some of the information, what your team has, that sort of thing. Then you can like if you're holding tab before a fight happens and you think, okay, well I have ult and I know that my monkey is probably like 80% there. I can start the fight with my ult. They can get in, they can build theirs during the fight, and they can ult, right? And you'll kind of know that those things are going to happen before they do. Cool. All right. Good. Much better. I know that you are down as it stands right now in rank, but I don't see good reason for that to be the case. Looks like you're playing much better than you were last week. So okay. We move on. We got Nick up next. Let me pull up that VOD. They say that audio is scuffed. Not too bad so far. This is a Sigma VOD. We got gold 3. Where were you last time? Gold 3. Or gold 4, now gold 3. Okay, bouncing around a little bit, but good. Okay, and notes from last time. Okay, utilize your utility to punish enemy cooldown usage, calm for pre-fight, not post, reduce actions per minute / calm down. And then Sigma specifically, consider positioning and fight for space rather than fighting where you are. Okay, we will take a look. I'm showing the right screen. Yes, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Am I sharing with you? Did I screw that
Yeah.
up? I am, okay, good. Just making sure.
You are. Honestly, just skip the first fight.
Say skip the first fight?
No, skip 2 first fight.
Oh, I was like,
That was a good rock. Good try to follow up. You're literally playing the correct distance here. You're doing everything correctly.
I'm gonna mute this just because the sound is pretty bad, but
Okay.
all good. Good rock on the side.
Good rock. You're just applying pressure. You got Bell out for like one rock and like half your shield probably, which is fine. All right, you used all your resources, so you need to start to back up here. Yep, yep. You know not to go for that. That's really good. Never mind.
It is. It is always going to be harder if you are pressing W and reducing distance with that rock than it is if you just take one step back and line it up a little bit better. So just keep that in mind. Because you have to move your mouse like way more in
Yeah.
order to adjust, right? Whereas you only barely need to move it if you're further away. Nice. Good punish on the res.
Yep, you're looking past. You're doing the exact right thing. Yep, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Good.
Yeah. There's like once or twice where that Risa pulls your attention, and you could definitely be spamming backline, but like, yeah. Other than that, like the only thing to take out of that is like realize like as soon as you didn't confirm kill on Mercy, you didn't have shield and you didn't have rock, so you needed to play back there. And realize when you have your resources down and communicate that to your team. Hanzo's so split.
Oh, tough.
Oh my.
You are somehow alive.
Yep, yep, yep. Razor's right. You're backing up with all the ults, and then yep. As soon as they get Bell out, yep,
There you go.
yep, exactly.
Nice job.
That's a beautiful example of what I was talking about last time, where you see they pop dragons, and then all that stuff. You read their ability, like they don't have Bell, you know, and then you just get them all. Like that. That was perfect. I would already be looking to take space here. You can be taking space like if you wrap around to that top right side, or you can be playing stairs.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily need to be the one that is pushing card here, right?
Yeah,
You have been basically on the card and utilizing it for cover in good measure, like in the previous fights. But like, you can take space otherwise, and you put yourself at this really like disadvantageous position where they can
yeah.
just stand right above you.
On Coliseo especially, like because they can just drop on you here. You want to be playing off cart or take as soon as you win that first fight. You want to be taking space off cart so they don't have like I forgot how to explain this. If you win the fight and then you know cart is gonna end up where it is right there, don't like stack cart because they're just gonna go drop on you, and then your DPS just hold high ground. There's nothing you can do about it the whole time.
Yep. So you're gonna
Uh,
want to be taking space up here, up these stairs.
you
That
can
way
even
you can
go
take
like
fight that way.
you can go top right as well. That's a possibility, like across the bridge. You can't see it on screen right now, but yeah, that whole top right area over there.
Good rock.
Yeah, that was good shoving your face in. Just confirm that kill. Gavin started playing Overwatch.
Pug. Oh, I was like, is somebody standing on the cart? And I didn't realize it was checkpoint.
You should win this. You should be able to get Rock back up. Oh.
Nice.
Holy, yeah. Go grab a health pack now. Oh, oh my god. Yeah, that was really good. Just keep backing up there. You pretty much get that. Honestly, the way you're playing, I just say play confident and just push this because they don't have anything that can contest you. The only thing that can stop you is if your carry dies. You're choosing one target there. Yeah. Flux. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
Yep. Yup.
you could have had more. I think you did it a little close, but it was good. Good
It
reaction,
was
good
mostly just a
instinct.
hesit. Yeah. If you make that decision like half a second earlier, they're still together though. That's it.
How much better it is up here? questionable rock. Yeah, now you don't have it for Nemesis mode. Let's back up.
Not the best kiting angle. You didn't even have to fully leave there. I think he's saying something in game chat, but good aim. That was a good read on the target there. Yeah, honestly, like after they use that stuff, you should like.
Nice.
Yeah, you should wait for like the ROM to like as soon as he gets out of his ult. Then that's your retake scenario. You back too far up, so you left your team. Your team was trying to play it out. Even if they make the wrong decision, you've still like 1v2'd like multiple times this map. So I really don't think it's too much of a problem
Yeah.
to like play on your own. Yeah, you literally have tripled the damage of your Hanzo. So turn around, see if you have your team there, because you want to be taking that fight at 50%, so you still keep prio. Because right now, if you win this, it's not as big of a boon as if you won it right there. You can start pushing. You're playing space. As soon as you get that ROM down,
Yep.
start doing shit. Yep, you're literally just playing the space, doing exactly what you need to. As soon as you're more your ult here, start taking space. Or, so yeah, you're fucking.
You got it.
They are applying zero pressure to you. Like, if you want, honestly, you should be evaluating the Ramacha telling you what not to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like that APM thing, you can see it like a lot in this map. Like you were slowing down and making like smart positioning decisions that like translate into like crucial kills consistently.
I don't like backing up there.
I think you hold it for 2-3 seconds. You still have grasp and all your abilities. Like at least buying time for your Kiriko to do something is like fine.
Yeah, I think, and this is, don't get me wrong, an awesome VOD. There's two instances of this where I think like you have the opportunity to get your team behind you and take space, and you are not calling for them to do that maybe, or they're not listening or something, because like this Sojourn shouldn't be a problem, because they should all be behind you and you should be looking forward, and even if they're down there, like they're pretty isolated and they're going to get taken out. And like instead of having your team upend with you, you're falling back to your team. So maybe dictating kind of the way that you are handling space a little bit better, and bringing your team in behind you to do so. As you get turned around, you guys lose space on the front, and they're able to push in. Your team's getting split off from behind. If everybody was kind of up and in with you, you guys would have been much better position there.
I think I know is realizing when you're absolutely destroying the other team and press the advantage, because like that's the biggest problem. You should have won at 6 minutes, like straight up. The only reason that you're not is because you're not playing like you're the best player in the lobby, and you currently are.
Great
See, look, best
flux,
player in
great
the lobby
rock.
literally just gets a kill. Like That's all you had to do. You get Nemesis form out, and then you play retake here, and you just win.
Yeah, and you're pressing S right now. That's the thing. That's the thing is like recognizing that you have this huge advantage because you've been doing a good job. Like our biggest note was recognize their cooldowns and punish them, right? Which you've been doing kind of all throughout this VOD. Now the next step is recognizing their cooldowns and punish them, and then recognize that you have the advantage and press W. Like take the space for your team. Don't necessarily just fall back to try to safely win a fight.
Because you're playing it very much like how double sniper plays with Sigma, where like you're not the win condition, but like you're playing so good, dude. Good grasp. Kiriko needs to TP out. Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe Kiriko's just gonna go nuts in there.
Good target prio. You force her out. You force her slide. Honestly, this is like a VOD. You don't have to pause this. This is like a VOD where I'm not coaching you on what you're doing wrong. I'm coaching you so like you could just start fucking dominating.
Just keep
lobbies.
doing this. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because you're playing the way that like will win the game, but there's given like teammates and all that different stuff. Like you get to a point where you can fucking carry.
One note, that shield that you just put up, you can put that up farther, because they can't really contest past it. So you can just cut off that whole line of sight from them. Like you did it to shield you as opposed to shielding the entirety of this space.
Grasp and okay, no
Yeah,
flux. I was gonna say.
yeah. I mean, fight was pretty much already kind of down there. I like no flux.
I thought Kiryu was still alive, but yeah, all it takes is one flux in this game is one. As long as you don't do it right now, you win. As long as you don't do it right now, you win. You're down.
Huh.
Okay. I'll say right after I hit that rock on Hanzo, I would say, oh, that's winnable, that's clutchable, I'm going for that shit.
Yep.
And you probably win it
Yeah. Great VOD.
faster there. Yeah, great bot. Absolutely stellar play. Not much we to say.
Yep. We'll go back down. We'll do these notes for you. Not a ton. What did I'm gonna remind myself what we had? Oh, we had some more there. Sorry that I missed. I think you utilized Sigma utility much better there. When you did dive in this time, it made sense. Like you were going for backline when it was just the only person that you were moving past was like an Arisa, which is good. You were punishing when they got low, and you rock somebody, it was good. You did a good job of calming down. Anything else that I really want to bring forward here? Maybe this positioning piece I kind of want to bring in. Oh god, what is happening? There we go. I'm gonna write in my notepad here real quick. Just general, I think. Consider space where you take fights. Take space rather than playing push cart always, because around the majority of that you were playing around cart, and then recognizing when a fight is won. Because you're doing, based on our notes, like you're doing a great job of, okay, they have drop cooldowns. I can punish this with a rock and press forward, and you do, and you're getting that kill. And then you need the next step should be, okay, now we just press and kill their whole team. There were some times where you were like, okay, we did it. I got a rock. We got the kill, and then you pressed S, and that just mindset from now on. I want you to be focused on we get that kill, we move forward.
Generally taking down anyone but like, actually, yeah, taking down any DPS or tank is like a one fight in my eyes. Flex support is like you kind of almost won it, and then main support is like it doesn't matter too much. But like,
Yeah,
if you're taking down DPS, you pretty much or a tank. You've
yeah.
won, especially a tank. If you take down a tank first and you just destroy him, just win the fight from there.
Yep. And like I see your note, matchmaking has been rough recently. My whole team loves to hop off cart. If I do, that doesn't matter. It's not your job. It's not your fault. Right? Play the way that you should be playing in order to continue to press the advantage. And if your team decides that they aren't going to do that, but that's on them, right? And if they consistently do that, like you will have enough games where you are doing the right thing and your team is doing the right thing that you'll win. And if your team is doing the wrong thing, they will drop in SR and you will continue to go up if you're doing the right thing. So don't ever put it on your team or think about how your team is playing ineffectively or inappropriately. You play the correct way regardless. Okay, cool. There's some VODs. There's some Overwatch. Sorry about yesterday again. Yesterday was a absolute nightmare day for me. But it's over now, and we got the VOD in, so I'm happy. Nick, submit another one. If you can't figure out the sound issue, cool. We'll start to think about and go over comms a little bit more in
Do
the
we want
future.
to start doing replay codes instead?
Nick did put a replay code in this time. I just didn't pull it up, but yeah, replay codes as well would be helpful if possible. Cool. All right. Thank you for joining us, Siren. We got an event coming up in the arena, and I'm sure it's going to get pretty busy in here in a couple minutes. I'm going to
Yeah.
head down and get ready for that.
All right. I'm gonna go grab lunch in the meantime.
That's a good idea, if I'm being honest.
All right.
Alrighty. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for joining.